So many people wasted no time telling me that Samson dropped another hit. Well, they didn't say hit, but they know he dropped another song and they wanted me to give my reaction to it. So I don't want to waste any time and I'm gonna try to get this boy Samson his due diligence. And what we have right here is a song called What About Us? And y'all know Samson at this point is very into the political subjects, which I like, and the boy got bars. So we're gonna get him up here and I'm gonna give my reaction. If you're new to the channel and you like these reaction videos, all I ask is that you take the time to subscribe and hit the like button right here, right now. And let's jump into it with my boy Samson. What about us? If you give them an inch, they'll take a mile.
Don't tread on me. Those are words that I stand by, homie. It doesn't mean I'm gangster, it doesn't mean I'm country. It means that my life is in my hands only. I don't have money for security, I don't have armed guards that I keep snug around me. You don't think I deserve protection like you do, and that means you don't give a fuck about me. Gated.
Alright, so look, check this out, right? This beat is like much heavier than what I'm used to with Samson. Like this beat right here is the bass. He's bringing that bass, but also the message. Like I'm getting Second Amendment support vibes, like off the muscle. He ain't wasting no time with it, and I'm vibing with it. So rewind 10 seconds.
Thug around me. You don't think I deserve protection like you do, and that means you don't give a fuck about me. Gated community, that's what you live in. Hatred and mutiny, that's what we live in. So come down here and hang with us for a minute. See if you leave with the same fucking opinion. Who's gonna help me out if I get robbed? What if somebody were to beat up my mother? Who's gonna be there to save our lives? You? Nah, me, motherfucker.
Oh, that was cold, yo, he making this little dark background work, but yo, that was cold right there. I love that part right there. That right there really resonated with me.
To beat up my mother, who's gonna be there to save our lives? You? Nah, me, motherfucker. I'm the only one that's got my back. It's dog eat dog, these are not no cats. There's cops in Michigan that can't even respond to the calls because the cars ain't got no gas. Great. Police don't have any fuel, you don't know if they'll arrive when you call them. The babies are starving, my girlfriend can't find a tampon, and yet somehow you and I are the problem.
Yo, check this out, right? Like, look, when it comes to the Second Amendment, when it comes to protecting yourself, by the time you call the police, especially if you got an intruder, somebody trying to do harm to you or your family and loved ones or your property, I can pretty much guarantee you that by the time the police get there, if a person really wants to do you harm, they got more than enough time to do it. Your first line of defense is yourself. I don't care if you live in America. I don't care what country you live in. You will always be your first line of defense because nobody can protect you faster than you can protect yourself. Remember that. Nobody can protect you faster than you can protect yourself. And that's exactly what Samson is saying here.
All them, the babies are starving, my girlfriend can't find a tampon, and yet somehow you and I are the problem. Somehow. I've never bought a gun without having my background scanned and approved. The only loophole I've seen on a gun is the one that you put a fucking lanyard through. It's not true that you can go to the store and just swipe your card and get a Glock and run. It's funny, the people that say that shit have literally never even shot one.
Facts. Let me tell you facts, right? You know how many times I had a debate with somebody that literally would say, well, you could just go into a store and just buy any gun that you want to as soon as you turn 18. That's not true. There are background checks that you have to pass in order to get a gun. I know that some people are going to bring up the gun show loophole. Well, technically, everybody at the gun show is supposed to run background checks, and many vendors actually do. I've been to gun shows where every time you buy a gun, then somebody runs a background check. Now, there are all kind of laws in the books, depending on which state you are, where things differ, and people can gift guns to their family members or whatever the case may be. But to say that people just walk in stores without any form of background check is just not true. What people are arguing for are universal background checks, and that is a federal registration where the federal government knows every gun you purchase and can have a whole catalog of how many guns you own, where you own them, who has possession of them, and it just makes it easier to take your guns in the future if they so choose. Look, Germany did that back in the day. So back during World War II, before the whole World War II popped off, when they were taking guns and stuff like that, they had an account for all of the firearms that everybody had. So miss me with that nonsense. It has happened in the past and it can happen in this country. And the moment evil prevails is when good men decide to do nothing.
Get a Glock and run. It's funny, the people that say that shit have literally never even shot one. Dumbass. Hey, Matthew McConaughey. Shut the fuck up. Just because you murdered people on screen doesn't mean you know shit about guns, you dumb fuck. What? You worried about us? What about all of those violent movies that you played?
Yo! I thought that was mad crazy seeing this dude show up at the White House and literally talk about gun control. Like, you can tell a lot about the administration or the politicians when they decide what they believe will reach you and what will bring you to their side. How they attempt to market to you and to touch you emotionally lets you know what they truly think about you. Just because you bring a star celebrity somewhere to speak about an issue does not necessarily mean that that person is right because they're a movie star. And exactly, this man literally plays in movies with firearms and being a bad A with guns and stuff like that. So miss me with that nonsense when you promote it on the big screen.
About guns, you dumb fuck. What? You worried about us? What about all of those violent movies that you played? How about you go talk to Alec Baldwin before you start telling me what to do, okay? Uvalde? I was horrified by it. That's your hometown. You were born right by it. It probably cuts deep, and I hope that it does, because you work in an industry that glorifies violence. It's more your fault than it will ever be mine. Lord only knows how many crimes that you've influenced throughout your whole career, because I've seen you kill people plenty of times. What?
Yo, facts. But if y'all ain't see, Bill Maher has a bit about Hollywood promoting gun violence and revenge killings and things of that sort. Y'all definitely got to go check that out. Bill Maher explains it perfectly. So I couldn't say it better than he said it. And it doesn't need to be said again. But Hollywood promotes violence all the time. But yet are some of the same people who are the biggest proponents of gun control and keeping you from being able to protect yourself, even though they got their own armed security.
How many crimes that you've influenced throughout your whole career, because I've seen you kill people plenty of times. What do you think is going to cause a shooting? A YouTube video of a gun review? Or a Hollywood murder scene that seems so realistic it looks like it's from the news? So next time that you want to point your finger with a stupid opinion and chime in with it, remember, it ain't me that they're trying to be like, dog. It's you that they're trying to mimic.
Yo, man, look, get an amen in the comment section if you vibe with that and you agree with everything Samson said so far, because to me, the boy is spot on and he making sense. I love how he flows, makes sense at the same time, and also touch on subjects that I personally agree with. You can't beat that. Let me get an amen in the comment section below. And also, if my audio isn't as good as it is, y'all let me know, because I'm trying to get it right. I'm in a new place and got new settings and I'm trying to figure it all out. But hopefully my audio sounds good and the video sounds good.
I'm in with it. Remember, it ain't me that they're trying to be like, dog. It's you that they're trying to mimic. I feel way more safe in a place where the people are legally armed. If something happens like a mass shooting, I have a way less chance of being lethally harmed. A criminal is gonna think twice if he knows everybody is a piece underneath their clothes. And Mayor Lightfoot will probably tell you different, but have you seen Chicago?
Yo, I mean, look, I'm pausing it a lot on this one because he's touching on a lot of different subjects, and I think it's right for me to touch on it because that's what I do. But at the same time, like, look, check this out. When he says that, like Chicago, for example, you see the mayor of Chicago literally talking about gun violence and all of these things, but being soft on crime, allowing criminals to get away with certain things, and necessarily pointing the finger at the gun when it's situations and circumstances where certain people are the ones who are causing the violence. And these are not law-abiding citizens. These are not people who legally own firearms and law-abiding and then they decide to go out and kill a bunch of folk. That's not exactly what's happening.
I have a way less chance of being lethally harmed.
Oh yeah, and that's what he said. Also, check out the fact that when is the last time you ever heard of a mass shooting happening at a gun range? Nobody goes to a gun range to shoot up a bunch of people. You know why they never do that? Because they know everybody in there is packing. And it's going to be a very, very hard time for them to get mass casualties because guns stop violence just as much as guns can cause violence. And it's not the gun itself, it's the person behind the gun. And you have to understand what will make a person decide to use a firearm in such a manner. And that is the root cause in which we should be trying to attack these problems.
Criminal is gonna think twice if he knows everybody is a piece underneath their clothes. And Mayor Lightfoot will probably tell you different, but have you seen Chicago? And no, before you ask, I don't want to be like Canada either. And I don't want to be like Australia. I'm sick of everybody using them as a humanity meter. There's a reason that they can do whatever they want to their citizens, like fucking throw them in camps. And there's a reason that our government doesn't even try that shit because they know that they can't. If you don't think for once...
The beat is right with it, but facts. Fact check, true. And I love it. Man, I love it. That's what they fought for, man. That's what America is about.
And there's a reason that our government doesn't even try that shit, because they know that they can't. If you don't think for one split second that if we didn't have our Second Amendment, the government wouldn't overstep its boundaries and make us do shit even when we're against it, you're out of your mind. I don't give a damn where you stand or how or what you vote. That's dandy and fine if you trust Uncle Sam, but I, for one, fucking don't. And why would I? What have they done? Give me a reason for me to believe them. They want to trade me a little security in exchange for a big-ass piece of my freedom. They don't want to take away guns because they care about you and they want to keep you safe at night. They want to take away guns because it's easy to control people if they don't have any way to fight.
Facts, man. Look, the boy is speaking for himself. This is one of them videos, like, the whole video is a breakdown. It's a breakdown of the subject of the video, right? He made a video about breaking down a video based on a subject that is breaking down the subject. Like, okay, I'm confusing myself at this point, but whatever. Facts.
Keep you safe at night. They want to take away guns because it's easy to control people if they don't have any way to fight.
Hey, buddy, what your little AR-15 gonna do if the government comes to take it?
Well, Ukraine started handing out rifles to all of the citizens when the Russians invaded, so what about that? I thought it wouldn't help. I guarantee that it'd be better than nothing. I hope it never does, but if the day comes, I bet that you're gonna wish that you had something.
Yeah, check this out. Literally, the U.S. government just kind of like backed out of Afghanistan. We've been there for what, 2 decades, and like wasn't able to actually implement what we went there to actually implement. Like, we had major gains and stuff of that sort, but at the end of the day, the Taliban ended up taking back over. And you saw what happened with that situation. We saw what happened in Vietnam. We saw all of these situations where people with less firepower than the actual U.S. government was able to withstand it or to fight back against it. And none of these populations are as armed as Americans are. So miss me with that nonsense about how can you fight against the government. First of all, I don't expect the whole entire government to go to war with its citizens. I would highly doubt that most of the military men would decide to actually kill and wound their own American citizens. That's first off. Secondly, it doesn't mean that you're going to win. Even if you don't win, you still have the right to defend yourself. You still have the right to fight for yourself and your freedoms. And even if you lose, you get to choose. That's what it's about. It's not about necessarily winning, because we don't want to fight our government either, because those are also fellow American citizens. But if you think that politicians and the president of the United States really personally care about you and your well-being, you got another thing coming. Most of these politicians are in it for themselves. And it makes them safer knowing that they live in a country where they have all of the power.
Nothing. I hope it never does, but if the day comes, I bet that you're gonna wish that you had something. This is the only country on earth where the people have real strength. And nowadays, with all the shit going on, it's the only thing that makes me feel safe. If there's anything that I've learned in the past couple of years looking back at the pandemic, all of the shit that we have is fragile, and it could snap at any second. Fuck all of the politicians. I don't trust anything they say. Take the word gun out of gun control, and that's all that it is at the end of the day. I don't give a fuck how crazy you think that I look or I sound when I say this shit, but our Second Amendment's the only thing that stands between us and a dictatorship.
Whew. Yeah.
And as for the kids, I'm not a security expert, so I won't act like one. But I think that if we can send over $50 billion to Ukraine, we could surely spend that much, or more, or less, here in our own country to fortify our schools and make them more secure so that every kid can get an education safe and sound. Place several trained armed guards in every school across America. You know, real men who won't stand by for 45 minutes in the hallway while a shooting unfolds in front of their own eyes. And pay them well, too. There's veterans that need the work. Why not protect our kids the same way that we protect you? Politicians are protected by guns. Celebrities are protected by guns. Every important person that walks this earth is protected by a gun. But our kids, they're important. Just not as much as you.
Yo, man, look, that's why I agree with him when he said F the politicians, right? They know that guns are an effective means of protection because they use guards, they use people with firearms all the time. They feel like they're important. They feel like they belong to be like in a situation where they're protected, right? If they believe that the public is so dangerous that they need protection for themselves, why wouldn't they believe that other average citizens or our children in our country don't need protection as well? I'm just so fed up with like trying to defend what is a constitutional right. And at this point, it's like, why are we even arguing anymore? Right? There are people who are for freedom and there are people who are for control. It's that simple. Let me see. Yo, that was nice, y'all. Well, Samson done did it again. That beat, y'all. I gotta get my boy Javier Javier ranking. I gotta get my boy Javier Javier ranking. Yo, I done kept y'all so long. This might have been the longest reaction video I done did in a minute. So, like, I got to give y'all my Javier Javier ranking. All right, so let's make it quick and clean. When it came to the bars, simple, easy for me, broke the scale when it came to the lyricism, when it came to the message, the tone, everything was executed flawlessly. 15 out of 10, broke the scale for me. Kudos to you, Samson. Kudos to y'all for letting me know Samson dropped this. When it came to that beat, it's finger licking good. Finger licking good. I'm telling you, I got beat sauce dripping from my fingers off of that when that bass was hitting so hard. I gotta listen to it in the car with the volume up. I'm giving that one a 15 out of 10. When it came to the visuals, it wasn't much visuals. It was just him standing in front of the camera. He did the best he could with what he did. It's Samson. You get what you get. I like the end part with the school and showing the different like the playground and stuff like that. That was dope. I think it was good. Can't rank it too high, but I will give it a 4 out of 10. Overall ranking for this song, I am giving this one a 12 out of 10. 12 out of 10 overall ranking. Broke the scale. Samson, you did it again, brother. What else can I say? Peace and glory, everybody. Be peaceful and be great. Until next time, I'm out.
1 in a million to 1 villain. Too hot to be in the kitchen, out in the melting the ceiling.